morning, welcome back to book club. It's time for May's book club already. That month whizzed by quickly, didn't it? I thought I'd film outside this morning, take advantage of the beautiful sunny weather and give you a little look at my lovely view that I'm very lucky to have from up here on the balcony. So yeah, it's time, as I said, it's time for May Book Club. Regular viewers will of course know the drill for the monthly book club videos. For any new viewers, I do these videos once a month. I run an online book club based in a Facebook group which is linked in the description box below. If you want to come and join us, we read one book a month. It's chosen by a different member of the group every month, and we've read quite a variety. It's been going for, I think this is our 7th or 8th month, I think. Yeah, about 8 months now. It's gone quickly, hasn't it? I'm very much enjoying book club. I think it's nice to be able to discuss books with like-minded people. So without further ado, let's get into the discussion on this month's book, which was chosen by me actually. May was my month to choose, and I chose 3 books with a historical element of historical fiction, and the one that was chosen was The Emerald Affair by Janet Macleod Trotter, which I will link below if you haven't read it and you might be interested in doing so. It was a long old book, wasn't it? I didn't realise how long it was. It took me 2 weeks to read and I was reading a lot, so yeah, that shows how long it was. It's a long time since I've read a book that long, I have to say. So I've set 5 questions, so I'm going to answer them. The same questions as always will be popped into the Facebook group, so you can give me your answers in there or let me know in the comments what you thought of it here. And the first question is, did you like the book? Why or why not? I did like the book. I thought it was different from what I normally read. I haven't read historical fiction for a long time. I thought it was well written. I thought it was quite, it wasn't as fast-paced as a lot of what I read currently, which is psychological thrillers, sort of contemporary fiction, but I quite liked that. I felt it was well paced for the era it was set in, and yeah, I liked that about it. I gave it a 4-star rating on Goodreads. I would say it was probably more closer to 3.5, but of course you can't do 3.5-star ratings, but it was definitely more than a 3, so it was a solid 7 out of 10 for me, I think. Question number 2 is, how well did the author build the world, and did you feel that the book was well written in terms of the era it was set in? And the reason I ask this question is because I find that when I'm reading something that isn't set in modern day, I very often find the dialogue jarring if the dialogue isn't appropriate to the time in which it's set. For example, if I'm reading a book set in the 80s, I don't want to see the modern vernacular from now. If you know, I can't think of an example, but no, I really can't think of an example off the top of my head, but when people are talking in natural conversation, I want it to be appropriate to the time it was set in, and I thought that the author did this really well in this book. There was only one instance in the whole 600 and odd pages, more than 600 pages I think, that there was only one instance when I thought, oh, that's a little bit jarring, that doesn't sound quite appropriate to the era it was set in, which was of course the early 1920s. So I thought that was really well done. I thought the way she wrote about India, I could really see it in my mind's eye, and Scotland as well, because the book begins in Scotland and then goes to India later on. I thought she painted a picture very well. I could see things in my mind's eye really well, and I liked that very much. And I've read quite a few historical fiction books. That was my elbow making a squeaky noise on the chair, by the way. I just thought I'd better mention that. Yeah, I thought the world was built so well. I really felt that I could almost have been in India. I could really see and imagine, particularly the descriptions of the hotel, I thought were really well written, and I could imagine, and the residents who lived there, I could just imagine them in my mind's eye sitting there in the lounge on the cane furniture, all a bit shabby. And yeah, I thought it was very well written, very well. I thought the scenes were very nicely set. Question number 3 is, what did you think of the characters? Were there any you really liked or disliked? the four main characters, which was Harold and Esme and Lydia and, oh my god, I've forgotten the name of the other guy because it's a week since I read the book. Tom, that was his bloody name, Tom. So yeah, the four main characters, sorry, I'm just changing my window back. Yeah, the four main characters, I thought they were really well written. I loved the interactions between them and the different relationships between them and how they changed and became different as the events of the book occurred. I thought they were realistic. I loved the sort of unrequited love element, but particularly in the age it was set in. I thought that was really well written as well, and how Esme felt about it. I loved Esme's character. She was a really strong, independent woman before her time, wasn't she? And I really loved that about her. Harold I didn't warm to so much, but I think that was probably deliberate on the author's part. I don't think Harold was a particularly easy character, was he? He had deep set issues, if you like. Lydia was sparkly and fun. I can imagine myself being friends with Lydia, particularly as she was at the beginning of the book. I think she would be a great social butterfly and good fun. So yeah, I thought all the characters were really well written, but I liked the fact that they all had their flaws as well, possibly other than Esme. There was nobody perfect. I thought they were very well-rounded and realistic characters. I thought that was good. Question number 4 is, was the ending satisfying? I think it was. I did feel that the bit that went on when they went to rescue Lydia out in the wilds of the mountains, I felt that went on a little bit longer than I would have liked. I think, but that may be because I was tiring. I've been reading the book for a long time. I did want to get to the end by that point. Not that I wasn't enjoying it, but just that it was a long book. I felt it could have been condensed a little bit. I think you could have had just as good a book with 100 less pages, no problem at all, which I think would probably make it slightly better. However, the ending was satisfying. Everything was quite nicely tied up. Everybody, obviously, Esme and Tom got together. I didn't think they were going to. At one point I thought she was going to go off and travel by herself and find fulfillment that way, and I felt a little bit sad about that, but then of course it all came good. So yeah, I did like the ending. I thought it was, well, it was a nice conclusion after a long old brick of a book. To get a conclusion that you weren't happy with, I think would have been disappointing at that point, but yeah, I did think the ending was satisfying. And the final question is, there is a sequel due to be published in November. Would you read it? And when I initially finished the book, I thought, I liked that, but I don't think I want to read any more about it. I think I might be done with that now. However, having had some time now to reflect back on this, I think I very definitely would read the sequel. I think it would... I'd like to know what happens to, I don't know if it will be the same characters, but I know that it's the series is called The Raj Hotel, so maybe the characters will come back, maybe they won't. But yeah, I definitely would read more about it. I think I will probably buy that book and read it when it comes out. Now, because I spent so long reading The Emerald Affair, I haven't read an awful lot since last book club, but there is one book that I wanted to mention that I thought would be a recommendation for anybody looking for something to read. It's called Watching Edie. If you like a psychological thriller, fairly fast-paced with questionable female lead characters, you will like this. It's about two girls, Edie and another one whose name I've forgotten because it was a while ago since I read it, and I meant to write it on this little bit of card, but I completely forgot. But it's about Edie and her friend who met at school in sixth form, and I don't want to give away too much, but it's written in alternate chapters, by each of the girls, and it flashes back as well, so it's a bit of a dual time frame, and it's really interesting. It's a good book. You don't know which of them is telling the truth and which isn't, and I changed my mind about 4 or 5 times through reading this book, so yeah, definitely worth a look. I will link that one below as well if you're interested in that. And finally, we just need to talk about next month's read, which Alison Riley in our book group chose 3 very popular titles for us. I think this was the closest vote we've ever had, and the one that is the winner is Lies by T.M. Logan, which sounds really good, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. Again, I will link that below for you if you want to join in with us. Please get hold of a copy of that and read along, and as ever, the discussion for that one will be posted as a video by me and in the Facebook group on the final Monday of June. I think that's it for this month. Happy reading, everybody. Let me know in the comments if you've read anything brilliant this month. We all like recommendations, so please do share. And I hope you enjoyed the Emerald Affair. I'm looking forward to seeing what other people thought of it, actually. I think it'll be quite interesting because it's different from anything else we've read. So thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.